My name is Aisha Taylor Issa. I am the founder and CEO of the incredible movement that is the Sisters in Business Expo. And we are so excited to have you with us tonight for our Founders Chat. We are going to be chatting in just a minute with Nikki Porcher, who is the founder and creator of Buy from a Black Woman. And her movement has just been so amazing and so powerful and so supportive of the Sisters in Business Expo. And so we're really excited to chat with her in a few. So welcome. While you're joining us, please do let us know where you are, what you do, and so we can shout you out. Hi, Annette. Annette is Hair by Natural Hands. She makes natural hair and body care products in Charlotte. All right. Annette, you should definitely come and be with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Our Columbia, South Carolina Expo is on August 10th. And we were there last year and had an amazing experience. And so we're excited to be coming back. And Columbia is just about an hour and 15 minutes from Charlotte. So you should come on over and hang out with us. We'd love to have you join us as a vendor or just as an attendee that day. So I'm going to bring on Nikki, and we're going to get started with tonight's Founders Chat. Again, if you are joining, let us know where you are and what you do so that we can be sure to shout out your business. And also be sure, hey, Nikki.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you great. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm at my mother's house, so it's not the usual background.
That's all right. Listen, we got to get it in where we can.
Right.
I was a little late tonight because this entrepreneurship life is no joke.
No, it's
And
not.
so I was out, I'm very transparent. I was out trying to market and promote the expo. We are just 9 days away, and just time got away from me, and so we had to push back tonight's call. So thank you for your flexibility and for being with us. Hey, Zamira, good to see you. Zamira was one of our ambassadors for our Philly Expo last year. Zamira, I hope to see you with us this year in Philly on July 13th. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're so excited. This is a very, very exciting time for us here in SIB Expo land, because we are really on the brink of launching our 2019 tour. 2018 was amazing. We were just so blessed to have such wonderful experiences in each of the cities where we were. And this year, we're just trying to bring it better, bigger, and more impactful for everyone who is a part of this movement or connected to it. And so in just 9 days, we will kick off the 2019 tour in Newark, New Jersey on April 13th. And we'll talk more about what that day is going to look like a little later on. But one of the things that we added to our brand this year is our weekly founder chats, where we spend some time chatting with other successful women of color in business who can share, and just where we can glean from her experience and her insight. And so that's why we're here tonight, because I wanted to let the folks who may not know you get to know you and learn from your experience and from the amazing work that you're doing with your organization, Buy from a Black Woman. So again, thank you for being on with us. Please introduce yourself to everyone. Tell them a little bit about you and about Buy from a Black Woman.
All right, so for those who don't know, my name is Nikki Porcher. A lot of people say Portia when they're reading it, and I just smile politely. Okay, but it's pronounced Porcher.
Y'all got that, Porcher.
And I am the founder of Buy from Black Woman. Buy from Black Woman is a nonprofit organization. Here's my elevator speech. It's a nonprofit organization that educates, empowers, and inspires Black women business owners and the people who support them. It's always important for me to say the people who support them part, because without support, there would not be Black women business owners. Without Black women business owners, there would not be Buy from a Black Woman. So it's very important to acknowledge and recognize and shout out all of the support that would come from business owners itself. Comes from the people who actually supported them too. Started Buy from a Black Woman it'll be 3 years this month. In fact, April. I'm looking at my mother's.
Okay.
She's watching.
Hi, Mom.
It'll be 3 years this month in April. where we have been officially a nonprofit organization. So it's crazy how much has happened and how fast that time went on the outside, but when you're in it, it kind of drags. If those of you who are entrepreneurs, you know, you wait and you wait and you wait, and you think it's going like so slowly, then you blink, and then you're like, wow, it's been 3 years. So yeah, I'm very excited about the changes that are coming, the turn is going, and all the support from people like, you know, like yourself, and just the community that comes out and just comes together and shows support for Black women business, for Black women overall, because the narrative is that we don't support each other, we're not here for each other, we're always competing with each other. But when stuff like this happens, I can talk to you and we can have a conversation and dialogue, and people see like, okay, they're really true about what they're saying they do. They're not just saying they support for Instagram likes, like they actually and genuinely support each other.
Right. It's so true. And, you know, support is really so simple. It doesn't have to be complicated when it's done genuinely, you know, and I told you, you know, when we first reached out to you, our partnership was like the easiest thing that ever happened. Like, it was like, hey, this is what we're doing. You want to be a partner? You were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And it happened. Like, it doesn't have to be, some people make support so complicated, you know what I mean? And that's usually because they're not genuine or they're trying to get something out of it. But if we all just had that mindset and that mentality that, you know, anything I can do to support, I will, and it comes back to you, you know, tenfold. And so we appreciate you for, you know, for your support early on. We were new last year, you know, granted Atlanta was our fourth city, but we were still in our first year. And so, you know, those types of, you know, attitudes and, you know, confidence in what we were trying to do really made a big difference. So we appreciate you. We really do.
No problem. And I am,
so
anybody who's worked with me know I'm a very easy person to work with, but I do go off of intuition and I do operate off energy. So your energy is good. You're in alignment with my mission. What do you need? How can I help? It's not difficult for me, and I don't like to waste time. So I'm like, okay, this is what you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. All right, I'll see you later.
That's right. And it's a no-brainer sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, buy from a Black woman, Sisters in Business Expo. You know what I mean? Like, hello, no, you know, anybody can see that alignment is, you know, there. But you know, some people don't get that. They see, you know, similar brands or similar organizations as competition rather than as, oh, we both doing similar work. Let's do this work together and help each other grow and meet the mission that we're trying to do. Like, that's so key. So tell everybody how this came to be, you know, in the first place. You know, what was the thought or the process behind the creation of this organization?
So I shared this story earlier. I was able to talk to some young girls up at Trenton High. So I'm visiting New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey native, for those who don't know.
You in Jersey right now?
Yeah, I'm in Trenton. I'm in Willingboro right now. My mother's. Yeah.
You down there?
Yeah.
You know, a city northern people, that's ain't really Jersey. It's Jersey, but it ain't really Jersey. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
We don't have that beef up here. We just talk about working together. And now here we are.
Listen, I love Jersey. You know, I love Jersey. Jersey's been good to me. I'm from Brooklyn. So, you know, whatever. It's all love.
North Jersey.
Yes, we in North Jersey. You know, I can see New York from my window, you know.
Like, oh, North Jersey.
Is your mom coming to the expo?
No, I had an event Saturday myself. And so I'll be in Atlantic City.
The 13th?
Yeah, I'll be in Atlantic City. So I'll be in Jersey, but I'll be in
Atlantic City. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe she could come over to Philly because she's closer to Philly than she is to Newark.
Yeah,
that's true.
She is. We'll make it work.
Let me see your mom. She got clothes on. Let me talk to her. Mom Portia, we need you to come to the Philly. Oh, your mom is cute. Hey, Mom. July 13th in Philly. July 13th. Okay. All right. Okay. Back to the conversation.
My mom always ready. If your mom
Listen, my mom is the same way. She goes everywhere with me. You probably saw her in Atlanta. So we love moms around here. What would we do without them? So tell everybody how this came to be.
So back to it. All right, because that's how we got into sharing the story at short
Mhm.
time. So anyway, so I went to this event in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was like a vendor event. And for some reason, I still don't even know to this day how I knew about the event enough to go. Went to
Mhm.
this event, and it was nothing but white people there. Like I was the only black person there at this event.
Mhm.
And I was talking to a young lady, and she was selling chapstick, and she had no more chapstick left. She had completely sold out this chapstick, and the chapstick was like
Mhm.
$20 too. That's the crazy part, and she had none left, which is crazy,
Mhm.
right? So I'm like, well, what does
Mhm.
this chapstick do? Like, is it
That's
gonna
some
make my
expensive.
lips?
That's some good chapstick.
Like, is it gonna? I'm gonna listen so much that a man gonna come to me like, "Oh, girl, I see your lips,"
Uh-huh.
and come over.
Uh-huh. Right.
I don't understand this. Like, why? And she's like, oh, I don't know. So I was like, huh. I wonder if people would buy like this from black women. I wish people would buy like this from black women. It could change our community. It could do a lot that's going on for us. So I went home
Mhm.
and I was like, huh, how can I buy from a black woman? And GoDaddy was like, this URL is available. And I was like, let me buy that. So that's really
Mhm.
how it came about. So I know people spend a lot of time thinking about the name of your mission or your organization or what you want to call your business, but sometimes it's really just that simple. Like, what are you going to do? And that's how
Mhm.
Buy from a Black Woman got the name Buy from a Black Woman, because I really just
Okay.
want people to buy from a black woman.
Mhm.
Um, it started off as a blog where I was just blogging things I bought from black women for the week. So each week I bought a new
Mhm.
item from a black woman, and I would share it on Facebook and on my blog site. Like, hey, I bought this from a black woman. This is blah, blah, blah. You guys can buy
Mhm.
this too at such and such and such and such, whatever. So through the power of social media, people started sharing my findings, and then people started giving me recommendations of stuff I should buy. Then people started giving me
Mhm.
money so I could go buy. And then people were like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you this so you can say you bought it." I'm like, "Well, that kind of defeats the purpose if I don't buy it, you
Mhm.
know."
Mhm.
So as that
Right.
started happening, and I was working in a nonprofit at the time, so I have nonprofit experience, and I know, like, okay, I don't want to just take people's money and not do anything with it. So I need to go
Mhm.
ahead. They're planting seeds in me. Let me go ahead and plant those seeds back to people. So that's how the Black Woman Business Grant came about. I used some of my money that I had, some of the money that people were donating towards Buy from a Black Woman, to give back to a Black woman who was starting her business. And after
Mhm.
that, it just took off from that. They're like, okay, this is what's going on. This organization is doing this. Is powerful. The directory came about, and this was before like directory was like a big deal. So nobody really had directories. Now everybody got a
Mhm.
directory.
Mhm. Mhm.
you, know,
Mhm.
you know,
It happens. It happens.
right? So there was the
Uh-huh.
Black Women Directory, and I'm proud to say like our directory is still standing star. You can visit buyfromablackwomandirectory.org to find a lot of businesses owned and operated by Black women. So that came about from that. The Black Woman Business Grant came about from that, and it's just been growing and growing ever since. So like I said, it's been
Mhm.
3 years. In April, our first grant went to Shanae of Ivy's Tea, and over those last
Mhm.
3 years, her business has grown so much so, and we were able from that cultivate an actual genuine friendship. But whenever you read about something with Shanae or Ivy's Tea, and I didn't even know until last year she had did an interview. She was saying like the Buy from a Black Woman Business Grant really helped her business become an actual business, because if she didn't have that money to go to the school, she didn't even get that confidence that there was a
Mhm.
person out there who actually believed in her mission and make sure that she was able to do things in the community. And Buy from a Black Woman did that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
Well,
said,
that's amazing. So you mentioned the grant, you mentioned the directory. What are some of the other components or facets of Buy from a Black Woman?
so we have education classes and webinars where
Mhm.
we actually teach you about starting having your business. So we go a little bit more deeper than just getting followers and marketing on social media. It's more so like, how are you doing your books? Do you know what an LLC is? And that's the right business plan for you? What's the marketing plan? Do you have your SWOT analysis? So we go ahead with the whole business component of running a business outside to
Mhm.
make sure that you are doing the things you need to do with your paperwork and stuff like that. So the education class, webinar, the directory, we have community events. We have a thing we call the empowerment pop-up, where we just literally just pop up at our Black woman business and we buy things from her that day. We leave little love
Mhm.
letters for her. I'm there taking pictures of the event, and then I put everything in there in a scrapbook. I take pictures and the love notes that people wrote, put in a scrapbook, and they give them to the business owner that day as a reminder, like,
Mhm.
hey, I know as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have those days where you feel like this is silly. Should I be doing this? This is not working. I didn't make any sales today. You can take the time and look back on this book and see how the community came out to support you. So you can reflect on that and let you know, like, hey, you're needed. We need you to keep going. Let this be a reminder for you. So we have a power pop-ups where we do that. I'm trying to think of all the stuff. We do community gatherings. I started this new thing called Sister Social Sundays. So once a quarter, a bunch of Black women who don't know each other get together to know each other. And this is the only way we're going to actually build and grow. So when we see these events, these networking events and conferences, and we always seem to go with somebody we know, right? And then we stay in that bubble of people we know, get the information and share with people we know. But the Sister Social Sunday is intentional that you don't know each other. So you don't know this person doesn't know you. And by the time you leave, you have a new sister to help with your circle. So that's another thing we do. It's a lot, girl. I'm trying to
That's good. That's amazing. And, you know, I think that's so amazing, right? That you took it and grew it into a multifaceted, you know, entity that really serves women of color in a lot of different ways, right? So you mentioned, like, you know, that it's not just the social media piece and the marketing, but you've been killing it in that arena too, right? You know, you've in just 3 years, you've got over 40,000 followers, you know, and have really made an impact, you know, and gotten a lot of support and following. You know, what would you attribute to the success overall for the brand? Not just with the social media numbers, because we know numbers are not everything, but overall, because there's somebody here who's thinking, wow, in 3 years, you know, that's really good. How can I do that in that amount of time? Or, you know, my business just doesn't seem to be growing. You know, what would you attribute to that success?
I would say one thing that sets Buy From a Black woman apart from other groups and that are similar to us is like we are a genuine community that actually cares about each other. So you can read the comments on any of the posts, Facebook, Instagram. You can go in our Facebook group and read the dialogue that goes on between each other. Like the Black women who are part of the Buy From a Black community really care about the growth of each other. There's a post that I do every so often, and it's called like Network with Network. And basically, I just want you to find somebody in the comments who you don't know, introduce yourself, and then figure out how you can collab with each other from that. So it's basically like slide into your DMs, but with permission, right? So it's not that intimidation, like, oh, I don't know if they're going to answer back. But now you have like, okay, so my name is Nikki, I have this, blah, 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 blah. Anybody want to work together? So then another person comes in like, hey, I love what you're doing. I do this. Let's figure out how we can work together. And then you have a new relationship. The recent one that happened with that was, again, with Shanae and then Tobia. She has a soap and Shanae has tea. They got together. They created a soap made out of tea, which is crazy, right? Because who, right? But that's just one of the things that happens with Buy From a Black woman in our community. Our community members really make up Buy From a Black woman. So it's not me who's doing all this work, right? This is not me. So I don't want anybody to think like, oh, Nikki's doing all this. No, if it wasn't for the community, none of this stuff would happen. So the community is growing because other people are telling each other about the community and hey, you need to be a part of this because this is real, this is genuine, this is organic. And if they do meet me, like, this is who I am for real, right? So, like, you know, like, everything I get is a gift, and gifts are given for you to give out. So whatever information I get, I'm giving it right back to you because I know, like, it could be all taken away at any point, at any time. So yeah.
Right. Good stuff. For those who may just be joining us, Aisha Taylor Issa here, founder and CEO of the Sisters in Business Expo, chatting it up with Nikki Porcher, who is the founder and creator of Buy From a Black Woman, a nonprofit organization that was created to empower and celebrate and help Black women business owners excel and succeed. And so we're really excited to be chatting with her during tonight's Founders Chat. If you have any questions for Nikki or myself, go ahead. You can start typing them. We will address them at the end. She is just such an amazing sister, and we're so excited to be chatting with her. So let's talk a minute about nonprofits, right? We get a lot of questions from, you know, just followers and things like that about nonprofits and, you know, about the difference between the two, or, you know, they're not really sure which way they should go, et cetera, et cetera. What advice advice or tips can you get as it relates to, going with a nonprofit versus a business, an entity, as an LLC or a C corp or et cetera? Why did you choose that route?
All right. So a lot of people start nonprofits because they want people to give them free things, right? It's like, oh, I want a nonprofit, so this person will give me that. Or I want a nonprofit, so this person will donate to me. That's not a good enough reason to start a nonprofit, right? That's not. And a lot of people don't understand that when you have a nonprofit, it's not your business. Everybody and no one owns a nonprofit, right? So I'm gonna say it again, like everybody and no one owns a nonprofit. For whatever reason, my board members decide, like, Nikki, we love what you've been doing, but we're going to go in another direction. They can fire me from Buy From a Black Woman, and that's it. So even though I did all this legwork, I did all of this stuff, and the board of directors decide, like, hey, we don't want you anymore, they can remove me from Buy From a Black Woman. Luckily, board members love me. That won't happen. But
that's not happening.
But that's something that you need to think about when you're starting a nonprofit. The reason why I don't the nonprofit route, I'm opposed to just doing a business. When I first started the blog, a lot of people were giving me money already. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't see what was happening with Buy From Black Women, but I knew I wanted more money. And I knew that the people who had given me money already, I wanted them to be able to use this, because there wasn't just like personal donations. There was a woman who owned the business, and she was like, hey, I would love to give you more for a tax write-off for my business, blah, blah, blah. And as I mentioned before, I worked in nonprofits, so I had already a history of nonprofits. I knew the ins and out of it, and it was just seemed like the correct route for me to do for Buy From a Black Woman. There's some other things that's happened with Buy From a Black Woman. With those streams will not be nonprofit. They'll still have part of the Buy From a Black Woman trademark and legality, but they won't be nonprofits. The only thing that'll be a nonprofit is the actual Buy From a Black Woman. So there's ways you can do that with that. Now, if you have a business already established, you can always change your business into a nonprofit, but you can't change a nonprofit into a business. So you can go into, but you can't come back out of it. And once you have a nonprofit and you decide you want to shut down, you're going to have to dissolve all of the assets amongst the board before you can actually shut it all down. Did I answer your question? Because I got
and that's good. That's good information for those who might be wondering. What advice would you give to someone who knows that nonprofit is the way that they want to go, and they're looking and trying to figure out how to get started?
Find you a board that you trust, right? Because like I just said before, they can vote you out anytime. So when you're going out there, find your board members, especially in the beginning when you have to do all your paperwork for IRS and for the state, for the government, and writing your articles. You want to make sure there's people who not only you trust, but they trust you enough too, because you're putting your name and their information on this paperwork, and anybody can look up all this stuff on you, right? Especially nonprofit, you have to have full transparency for everything. So you want to make sure the people you decide to be your board members are people you trust with your life. They trust you, and you guys can move forward with that. Also, make sure that you are not mixing money, right? Because we've seen the stories of nonprofits, and you never know how big you're going to get. You don't. So don't go in there thinking like, oh, this is going to just be a small local nonprofit. You don't know. So you just want to make sure these are good habits to have when you first start. So that down the road, it's not something you have to be used to doing it again. So make sure you don't mix the money. And then make sure your paperwork is always correct. Have somebody else check it. And if you don't know how to do that, a lot of states and a lot of cities have nonprofit sites. And also there's a lot of attorneys who do pro bono work just for nonprofits. So you can go ahead and look inside your network too, and find an attorney who wants to help a nonprofit, because they have to do those donation hours every so often.
Those are good tips. I hope you ladies and gentlemen and anybody who is on is eating up, soaking up this free advice that you're getting from Nikki, because some people might invoice you for details like that. So that's good stuff. It's true. It's true. So what do you think is the biggest challenge that Black women face when it comes to owning a business?
Wow, because I'm always asking that question. So
you said you're always asking it?
Yes, I'm always asking that question. Like, so Black woman, money. I would say money. That was like Cardi B. Money. So being a Black woman and not having enough money or enough time. So it's always like, if you had more money, you would be able to have more time. You had more time, you'd be able to get more money, right? So those two
Mhm.
things, money and time, as a Black woman, because we tend to, as Black women, try to take on so many responsibilities, and we have this "I can do it" and "I can do it all"
Mhm.
attitude that is very a hindrance to our growth in some areas. So, time and money, you
Mhm. Time and money. Time and money. How do we solve that? How do we solve one of them?
buy from Black women. Make sure everybody buy from you, so you can get
Mhm.
more money. Um, but time management is a big thing. Like, I live with my calendar, and invites. Like, if it's not on the schedule for a calendar, I'm going to forget. I could be fully transparent. If I did
Mhm.
not write it down, I'm not going to remember. So don't say, "Oh,
Mhm.
remember I told you." No, I don't.
Mhm.
I
Nope.
don't. So get you a
Mhm.
good time management um, tool. Also, find an accountability partner. Again, that whole collabing and working with your community part. Like, sometimes there's somebody who you trust with your business, right?
Mhm.
And it might not even be your best friend, and that's okay. Your best friend is not going to be your business accountability partner if she doesn't have a business, and that's okay. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, she's not going to understand things that you're going through as a business owner. She's going to hit you with the, "Oh, that's crazy," because she don't know what you're talking about. So get you somebody who is an accountability partner but also understands what you're doing. That can help you with your time
Mhm.
too, because now you have somebody to check in on you, but also somebody who's going to be like, "Hey, so did you do such and such?" And that's going to put that pressure on you to make sure you do such and such and do it
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
Money, just start charging people. Like, we give away so many things for free, and I'm guilty of it. I can admit that.
Mhm.
But you can't say you want money, you giving everything away. That's not how it comes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Monetize it. You got to do it
Yes,
because
you
we
do.
will. We'll just. We need to be a charity as much free stuff
Yeah.
as we give away.
And it's an ugly game, you know. And I have hard times down to that also, because I had the Oprah syndrome where I just want to give everything away. But Oprah got
Mhm.
money to give everything away. I don't.
Right. Right.
I have to remember that.
Right.
But, there's polite ways of saying, "Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to sponsor that event," or, "No, I can't
Mhm.
give that." But sometimes I just remind people, like, "Hey, the name of this organization is called Buy from a Black
Mhm.
Woman. So I need you
Right.
to buy these buttons for your event."
Yes. Yes. So I was actually going to ask you that, right? So, you know, I love all of the other entities that you have created, the scholarship and the courses and all that stuff. But how do we actually get people to buy from a Black woman? Like, how do we begin to change that mindset? Right. I actually wrote about this in an article that I was recently, that that's we have to begin to change that mindset, and to change people's habits,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where buying from a Black woman or a Black owned business is not a last resort,
Yeah.
right? But is a custom and is something that you just do naturally. What are your thoughts around how we begin to change people's spending habits and their activity when they decide who they're going to spend their money with?
Yeah. And yeah, because it does become trendy when the boycotts happen, and all of a sudden everybody
That's
is going
exactly
to
what I
this
said. As
coffee
soon as
shop,
somebody makes us mad,
right? Or
then
this
we
nail
looking for
salon.
Black people to shop with.
Yeah. So one thing is to do is just do a breakdown comparison where you're saying, okay, when you spend with this corporation, your money goes blah 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 blah. But when you spend with this Black woman, it goes blah 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 blah. So people can actually see that fact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to do these profiles on the actual woman behind the business. People buy from people they like, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you know who's the business owner is, then you're more likely to buy because you know the story, you know what's going on. And that's why the
Mm-hmm.
influencer thing is so big. People are invested in people's lives, and now they're able to sell you tummy time tea, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to, and as much as we don't want to share who we are in our stories, that's needed in today's market, especially in this market where all we do is have the
Mm-hmm.
devices in our phones. So just sharing more of
Right.
who you are, what the company is, what your moral is, and how you operate is a good way to get people to change that narrative. I
Mm-hmm.
don't do the whole like guilt thing where it's like, "Oh, you have to buy Black." Well, why aren't you buying
Mm-hmm.
Black? You should be buying Black. Because I don't want guilt buyers, because guilt buyers are temporary buyers. You want people to be
Mm-hmm.
long buyers with that. So by showing them, like, okay, this is what the company is, this is what we do, this is how we can help you, this is how you're helping us, and putting those
Mm-hmm.
things out there. And it's not going to happen overnight, right? Because we are a conditioned generation. We're a conditioned people, and not just Black people, just overall. we know what we like and we're used to certain things. If I shop at Target all the time, I'm going to go to Target all the time because I don't know anything else. So it's our jobs, you know, and it sucks that we have to keep saying and doing this stuff to people, but you have to do the legwork. You have to go out there and let people know that you are even here. And even there's more to Black women business owners, Black businesses also than just, you know, hair, cream, and clothes, right?
Right.
So showcasing those people too, like, hey, you do have options. Like there's a young lady, and she has the Quelle TV, so it was like the Black version of Netflix that has movies that are particularly for African Americans for you to watch. So supporting stuff like that. The more support you give to these organizations, these companies, this business, the more that they're able to spread the word about that and reach people outside of that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. We have to be intentional about it, right? It's not just going to happen because you're changing a condition. You're changing, you know, something that you've been doing for a really long time, you know, kind of just spending wherever, you know, but we really have to be intentional about spending our dollars in our communities and with those. And like you said, we have to begin to broaden our horizon about what we think about when we think about Black women in business, right? We are not just making body butters and soaps. While we do that and we do it well, there are so many other things we do. That's why we're intentional with the Sisters in Business Expo about including both products and services, right? Because we want people to, as the vendor, on the vendor side, we want them to know that there is a space for you in venues like this where you can showcase and grow your business and you don't have to necessarily be selling something on site, right? But then also we want consumers to have a point of reference and to begin to think about Black and women-owned businesses when they need services, right? Like when it's time to have if you got a leak and you need a plumber, or you need somebody to cut your grass, or you need somebody to groom your dog, like, oh, let me go back to that sister or that brother that I met at the Sisters in Business Expo. So we have to just begin to expose ourselves more.
And even
to various business types.
Social media, like, it still spreads like wildfire. So if you know somebody, and you see it all the time because now they had that recommendation button. I'm talking about Facebook, but even with Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat, for those who are on it, like, you can still recommend people on these channels.
Absolutely.
Or even like butt into conversations. Like you see somebody is cutting their grass, like, oh, well, did you know that Sally cuts grass too? And here's a tag. They might delete it, but there's somebody who saw that too, and now you're helping spread the word. So you have to play.
Absolutely. We have to speak up for each other. You know, like that reminds me when we bought our home a little over a year ago. The realtor, he gave us like a gift basket when we came into the home. There was a gift basket waiting for us, and it was a very nice gesture. And he was a brother, and so, you know, it was nice. So I looked at the gift basket and it was nice, and I looked at the card that was on it, and it was from like a local business, you know. Okay, but it wasn't a business owned by a woman of color or a man of color. So what I did was I texted him and I said, thank you so much. We really appreciated the basket. I said it was a nice touch. I said the next time you might want to consider this business owned by a person of color. They do really great work, you know, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to give people another option. Maybe he never even thought about the fact that there's a Black woman who creates beautiful baskets in the same neighborhood that he can get those baskets from. So we have to be willing to share and to promote each other. And so we have a question from, and we're going to get into questions. So if anybody has any questions for Nikki or for myself, please ask them now, because we're going to move into questions. So Anissa Being says, how can you market without depending on social media?
Ooh, that's a good question, right? So how can you, one more time?
Market. How can you market without depending on social media?
Okay. So there are, and this is all Nikki Porche's expert opinion, right? This is not gold. So
of course.
We're all on social media, but there's a number of people who are not on social media. So you need to count on the people who are on social media to market your business, right? So, like, for example, I have a Twitter account. I don't use Twitter like that. Like, I'm not a Twitter fan. I feel like Twitter is like walking into a bar and everybody's talking, and you're like, I don't know where I should go.
Right. Which conversation should I get in?
Right. But there is a Buy from a Black Woman Twitter page, and people tag, and I rely on other people to use the Buy from a Black Woman Twitter thing. So even if you're not a person who uses social media, create those pages, right? One, so nobody else can take them from you, right? Because if your business is doing great, then somebody might make a business similar to your name and then go ahead and snatch those handles up, and now you don't have the option to do that. So you always want to protect your business. Here's a Buy from a Black Woman tip. When you start a business, buy it all, right? Get it all, buy it all. If your business is This My Business, get thismybusiness.com, .biz, .net, .org. Go on all the social media stuff. Even if you're not ever going to use them, take them all so nobody else can take that away from you. You always want to have the option to use it when you want to. But like when you go to the URLs, and there is a Site Mama, which is owned by a Black woman. It's similar to GoDaddy, but it's Black woman, right? You can go to Site Mama, and she's not paying me for this. You can go to Site Mama to buy your URL, and if you just put .com, all the other ones are going to come up, and it's going to be like $20 for the year to get all of them. So why wouldn't you do that? Protect yourself. That's the original question. You want to go ahead and have those handles, but then have other people use those handles to promote your business. So it's not like you're even on social media, but you want to put that stuff on your website, on your cards, on your paraphernalia, so people know that you're there. And then when they get something, they're going to tag you in there. And then out of curiosity, other people are going to go to that page, and then all your call to action is going to be there, and they still can shop with you. I hope that answered your question. So.
It does. I think also just to add, like our marketing coordinators on here, Tev on Insta, and she gave some other suggestions, right? Because some of y'all remember just a couple of weeks ago when social media was down for an entire day, right? And people, so I'm sure a lot of people probably lost some business. People were freaking out because they did not have access to their major marketing component, right? And so I think I would just add to what you said that we need to diversify how we market, right? And we can't rely and put all of our eggs in one basket per se, and that basket being social media overall, right? And so, because like that day, Instagram and Facebook were down because they both owned by the same company,
but this is so
right?
important.
And
your email listings, because I know I sent out an email, you sent out an email, and we still were able to. I still made sales that day, so I didn't lose business. I made sales that day.
Yes, right. So your email list is really important. You got to have something that you own, that you control. Tev mentioned press releases, print publications, flyers, mailers, and then she says just good luck, because it's not easy, right? It's hard and it takes a lot, but you really have to diversify and try different ways of marketing, and let social media be a tool that you use to grow those other means of marketing. That's why tonight I was late, because my physical body was outside marketing, right? Like we can't only rely on the computer and the screen. Sometimes you got to put the pedal to the metal and get yourself out there, because people want to see a face behind the brand. They want to know who and what they are buying into. So those are just some tips. I hope that helps some.
And I would even go old school, because every now and then I'll do a postcard mailer to people like getting mail that's not bills.
That's not bills, right? right. Yes, we
a little love note, a love postcard, like, hey, thinking about you, and not even asking for sales, just basically saying, hey, we're here and we appreciate everything you did. Thank you. And it's like, that goes a long way, because now that person's memorizing and remembering them. I'm not giving you one of my like major marketing moves, because you gotta pay me. So bye from
okay, y'all hit her up.
I gotta make money somehow.
Right, you can't tell everything now. You can't tell everything. But you've already shared so much with us tonight, and we really appreciate you being with us. So before we go, we just want you to tell everybody, well, first tell us what's in the future for you and for Buy from a Black Woman. Where do you see the brand going? What do you have in store over the next year, 2 years or so?
All right, so I can just plug all my stuff, because I got a lot of stuff.
Go right ahead, girl. That's why we're here.
All right. So, June, the Buy from a Black Woman University will be launching, and it will be classes to help you grow, sustain, and start your business, right? So there'll be a whole monthly membership fee, all that jazz, whatever. So stay tuned for that. But immediately happening this month for April, we have a lot of good things going on. Monday, April 8th at 8 p.m., we'll have an actual webinar with the official Buy From Black Women accountant. Like we got an accountant, y'all, right? And she's going to give you guys on how to start your books for owning and operating the business, and also a quick QuickBooks tutorial. So for those of you who have maybe even thought about using QuickBooks or looked at QuickBooks and got intimidated, she's going to basically just walk you through what it looks like. So you know when you do hire your accountant, what to look for, what not to look for, if they're trying to get over you or not. So that's going to be happening this Monday, 8 EST. You can sign up on our website. Also, we have another event happening on the 18th. I like the number 8 a lot. On the 18th with our trademark attorney. She's going to be talking about the ins and outs and should you or should you not trademark your business logo, saying, phrase, whatever it is that you need. Again, that webinar link will be on our website too. And for those of you who are in the Atlanta area, on April 23rd, we have a screening of Boss, the Black Experience. It's a documentary by Stanley Nelson. He did the Black Panther documentary and another documentary that leaves my mind. But this is a free event open to the public in Atlanta at the Auburn Avenue Research Library downtown. So we'll go ahead and do the screening. Then afterwards, we'll have a panel event with some amazing Atlanta entrepreneurs. So both men and women. So everybody's invited to that. It's a free event, but tickets are limited. So you might want to go ahead and sign up for that now. That's something you're interested in. And then I'll be speaking on the same day as the Sister in Business Expo in Jersey. So I'm not even going to.
They can't come to that.
I'm not going to share that. It's the same day.
Well, that's not true. They can come to the expo and they come to your event, or vice versa.
Okay.
And it's all the way in Atlantic City, so there might be some folk who down there. So go ahead and tell them about it.
So April 13th, I'll be part of the Move Something Conference down at Atlantic City, going with the Move Something Conference. So I'll be there sharing the Power of the Voice panel. It seems like it's going to be an amazing conference. So if you're in Atlantic City and not in Newark, because if you're in Newark, you need to be going to
or near, not in or near Newark.
Yeah, you need to go to the Sister and Business Expo. So don't come. It's like, oh, I drove all the way from Newark. What's going to happen? I'm going to take a picture. I'm like, look, this woman drove all the way from Newark. What happened? And I'm going to.
We sound like the people who go to one church and then they go sneak over to another church and be like, oh, we heard you was at so-and-so church.
Like, did you pay your tithes this week, though?
Right. But I set my time. Oh, Lord help us. Well, this has been so much fun. So much fun. Tell everybody how they can stay in touch with you.
All right, so you guys can follow me, all things Buy From a Black Woman. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube, and our website, because it's smart to buy all your stuff, right? So you can just Google Buy From a Black Woman. You can find us everywhere. So, and also, please go out and buy from a Black woman this week if you haven't already. Go buy your ticket to Sister and Business Expo.
Yes, that would be buying from a Black woman. And then when you get there, you can buy from over 100 Black women. You would just completely blow the quota of buying from a Black woman in one day. One day. And it's going to be so much dope stuff there. So let me just tell the folks real quick about the expo. Saturday, April 13th from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Robert Treat Hotel, 50 Park Place in Newark, New Jersey. We will be kicking off our 2019 tour with the Sisters in Business Expo in Newark, New Jersey. Our keynote speakers are Ms. Vivica Fox, who is amazing. She was with us in Philly and Columbia last year, blew us away. We had to bring her to Newark. She's also going to be signing copies of her book, Every Day I'm Hustling, along with Sharia Jackson, former senior editor of Essence Magazine, and author of The Boss Bride. And so she will be sharing some of her expertise and signing copies of her book. And then we have our amazing panels. The Superpower panel is going to be at 1:30. And we've got an incredible lineup: Lindsay Christian, Dawn Fitch, Sakina Spruill, Lauren Craig, and then our authorpreneur panel at 4 o'clock. Y'all do not want to miss these panels, I'm telling you, with Dr. Arabia Millett, and our authors are Africa Miranda, Pasha Cook, Lucinda Cross, and Alexandria Bernard Simmons, and they will be dropping some serious gems on how to grow your brand by becoming an author. The Superpower panel is going to be focusing on do it for the culture, strategies for creating influential brands. And we've got our host for the morning is La Loca, who is from Radio 103.9, who is our official radio partner. And then our PM host, our afternoon host is Carissa Lawson, who's the morning news anchor on New Jersey 12 News. We've got media correspondents, Kalila Webster and Patricia Robinson from 107.5. I mean, it's just going to be a really, really dope day. And we still have some announcements. You might want to come after your big girl. You might want to come out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are going to be going.
It's going to be a dope day. We have over 100 of the most amazing vendors who will be selling products and services, promoting their services. And we've got food vendors, so you don't even have to leave to go eat. It's going to be a great day. And we just really hope that everyone will come out and enjoy and just buy from Black women, support Black women. This year, 100% of the vendors are Black women. Sometimes we let in a couple of brothers and others, but this year, every single person who will be vending is a Black woman. You can see the list of the vendors on our website. Thank you for the hearts. And we also appreciate our sponsors who have just been so supportive. Valley National Bank, Valley National Bank. I'm having a brain freeze. I'm tired, y'all. Let me see who the sponsors are. Stop trying to act like I can remember. Okay. Distinct Tax, who is our accounting firm, and they do amazing accounting services. Puka Pure and Simple. Oh, God, this stuff is so amazing. Valley Bank, State Farm, New York Life, Samsel and Associates. We've got just an amazing line. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Of sponsors, our media sponsors, Destination Newark, Upscale, Moxie Media, and of course our radio partner. And then we've got a bunch of partners. Check it out. It's all on our website. You can get your tickets. Tickets are just $15 in advance. And they're available on our website right now. They're $20 at the door. But we want you to save those coins to support and buy from a Black woman. So be sure to get those tickets, and we'll see you in the building. Nikki, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support since day one. And we look forward to seeing you this year on the tour. And we wish you continued success with Buy from a Black Woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wish you success too. I look forward to seeing you. I might come back so I can drag my mother to the Philly one. So we'll work after that.
Well, we know Mama's going to be in Philly, so we already got that confirmed. You're gonna love it, Mom. Bring all your friends. Bring all your friends. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a part of this chat. We appreciate you. We pray for you. We wish you continued success in your businesses. Don't give up. Keep going. Keep pushing. Remember that there's nothing that you can face that you and God can't handle together. Everybody have a blessed night, and we will talk to you real soon. Thanks, Nikki.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.